What is going on, guys? Uttersax here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. Today, I want to talk about the banks and the bank crises that are happening. And yes, some information in this video you're going to say, I've heard that before. But I am going to make some comparisons that you are going to want to hear. So first of all I ask you guys to do is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the video. Silicon Valley Bank has collapsed. This is the largest bank collapse since 2008. Silicon Valley was the 16th largest bank in the US, holding at least $210 billion in assets. Now let me put this in perspective for all of you guys. Washington Mutual $307 billion and Silicon Valley $209 billion. All of the other banks, sure, they are substantial, but just to put this in perspective, these are two of the largest US banks. Now what happened in 2008? On September 25th, 2008, Washington Mutual, WAMU, the sixth largest American financial institution at the time, was shut down by the U.S. Office of Thrift Supervision. Over the ensuing days, depositors had withdrawn more than $16.7 billion in deposits, causing the bank to run out of short-term cash reserves. Now, this is exactly what's happening. Silicon Valley wasn't the first bank, however, this was the most substantial bank, and that is why everyone's talking about it. People thought bank runs were a theory that probably wouldn't happen, even though we are heading into a recession, at least from what it looks like, based off of all the facts and data that we have. Well, now it's coming to fruition. Silicon Valley, based off of this chart, to put it in perspective for you, this just crashed. Washington Mutual, the one that's a little bit bigger, crashed in 2008. However, you know how bad our economy is right now. Now, to put that in comparison, in front of you, I have the Volkswagen squeeze and I have the S&P 500 overlaid in orange. Now, just to show you what happened, if I go back, it says on September 25th, 2008. Let's take a look on that exact date. Keep in mind the cursor at the bottom, September 25th, 2008. Boom, right here, this area, September 22nd to the 29th. Where does this cursor show? This shows right when the SPY dipped and right when the Volkswagen squeeze happened. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, short squeezes that we have ever seen in the world. Now, of course, you might say a ton of facts are different here. And that is correct. However, the SPY could fall a lot further than it did in 2008. Bank runs could be a lot worse than they have been in 2008 and in prior history. And this could be set up the same, if not worse. So don't come at me saying, well, it could be better, because it's not looking that way. So I just want to put that in perspective for you for anybody holding AMC and GameStop. And if you haven't seen my Volkswagen comparison videos, I highly suggest you go watch those right now, showing that a market crash will not void the squeeze. If anything, it may even trigger the squeeze. Moving on, the Silicon Valley bank crisis will force the Fed to slash rates by 100 BPS to prevent contagion, market guru says. Now, Market Insider is floating around this article that the Federal Reserve may raise interest rates by 100 basis points. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is going to break the market. Maybe if it's raised even by 0.5 BPS, it's going to break the market. The Fed, if they don't pause it here or raise it by 0.25, we're heading into a crash, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but this is the articles that are floating around right now. The Fed is in a very, very bad spot, which leads me to say that they just called an emergency meeting tomorrow, Monday. This is going to be a very important week. We have the emergency meeting. We also have the AMC shareholder vote, which we're going to touch a little bit on in a minute. But the closed board meeting, this is a closed meeting. We're not going to know what's happening, but you are going to see volatility pick up in the S&P 500. Make sure to watch the VIX, which measures the volatility of the SPY overall. Closed board meeting tomorrow, Monday. The Fed basically said, this is an emergency meeting. We're going to meet with you. And the question might be, what makes your bank different? This is what's happening. What makes your bank different? And they are going to try and come up with a solution. And they are also probably going to have to switch up their plans that they had for the upcoming meeting based off of how they were going to raise interest rates going forward. Now, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp and the Federal Reserve are discussing creating a fund to backstop deposits if more banks fail. Plus, U.S. officials are considering bailing out Silicon Valley Bank deposits, WAPO reports. And finally, apparently, short sellers made $600 million in one day on Silicon Valley Bank crisis. Now, will this be good for short sellers in the long run? Sure, maybe it will be, depending on how they short the market and how they play it, but will it be enough to hedge their position on what's really happening? It is going to be hard to tell. A lot of stuff happens behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff happens with bigger players, and if these banks fail, the too big to fail method is gone. That means these big institutions, these big funds, their connections dissipate. Their connections disappear, and slowly they stop having these connections and these relationships with important people that they need these connections and relationships with. Moving on, breaking, Congressman Ro Khanna has said that the Silicon Valley Bank CEO Greg Becker should return gains from a recent stock sale. The CEO sold 3.57 million of stock within the last 2 weeks before the bank's collapse. Again, another insider trading sale. We see this time and time again. Will he be able to return these funds? Who knows? Finally, U.S. banks have over $620 billion in unrealized losses, the FDIC says, and even with that being said, the Bank of London officially submitted a bid for the Silicon Valley Bank in UK. They basically said, all right, we're going to put this out. If someone wants to bid on the bank, you have basically 24 hours to do so. Bank of London officially submitted a bid for it. Whether they're going to accept it or not is something that we are going to have to report in the future. Plus, over 200 UK firms won't be able to pay staff at all due to the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, which just shows you that this is not an isolated event, right? It's triggering more and more dominoes to fall and more problems going forward. Finally, the ISDA fighting hard to make permanent the temporary exemption of margin on single stock equity options, non-OTC, in the UK. So they're actively fighting so that margin wouldn't have to be applied on these single stock equities. Why? So shout out to Randall Cornett on Twitter, basically doing this in the sense of who needs collateral, right? Who needs collateral? Finally, Adam Aron made a tweet at AMC's special meeting of shareholders on Tuesday, March 11th at 11 a.m. Central Time on proposals crucial for our future. More info here. The meeting will be webcast live and we encourage you to listen. I'm going to attempt to live stream this. I'm not sure if I will be able to, but guys, keep in mind this is going to be a very important week. I updated you 2 videos already this weekend that cover completely AMC, and they cover a bunch of plays going forward that you have to watch come Monday. Also, another one I wanted to touch on is just keep an eye on TRKA. I didn't put this in the video, but I'm watching for a bounce around 20 cents to 18 cents or so on TRKA. Whether that comes to fruition or not, that is something I'm watching for. And there's a lot of misinformation going on about the dilution. Just keep in mind, TRKA is still heavily shorted. It has all of the factors to a potential short squeeze, and just keep an eye on it. We will be touching more on this, and also you do get disclosed of my positions as soon as I make them in the Discord. That link will be under the video. We have almost 400 people in there, the most amazing people. We post gains, losses. We also have access to options trading alerts live, so you can trade them on the daily as fast as they come out. Plus, if you want 17 free stocks, use my link, sign up for Moomoo, and make a deposit. Both of those links will be under the video, plus some extras if you do, like energy drinks, crypto platforms, and my merch, as well as becoming a member of my channel. Overall, guys, this is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Make sure to share this, watch it before Monday. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and what you think is coming, and if you guys had a good weekend. Since you clicked on this video and watched it all the way through, here is my cat.